Hey, this is Ken. I'm from the local Vapor in Doylestown in Andover, PA, and we were here for the PA vaping rally, number 2, and just happened to be walking around and bumped into State Representative Mary Jo Daley, who is, involved in some of the decision making around some of the taxes, and just wanted to kind of get your take on the whole thing. I know there's a lot of different opinions on the tax and whether it's excessive or whether it's something that is necessary, and I know that obviously when it passed, a lot of the state representatives have great intentions to put the money towards good causes, like helping with the deficit with public schools and things like that. But at the same time, I know that a lot of jobs have been lost in the state, and there's some speculation on whether the state will actually recoup those funds, since a lot of people are losing jobs. I didn't know if you could just comment on your feelings on that, and could maybe explain a little bit more about the process, because I know that State Representative Whelan has an amendment pending to make the tax more based on just the actual products that contain nicotine. I didn't know if you could just give your general opinion on all of that. That would be helpful.
I could explain what the process is, because we are starting a brand new session. This is our first actual session day for the session that would be for 2017-18. And the way that things work is that if a bill, and Representative Whelan had a bill that would have made some changes to the vaping tax. So the way that it works is, because that did not pass last session, it needs to be reintroduced this session, and that's not just for his bill. Any bill that did not pass and did not get signed off by the governor has to start all over in this session. So I honestly don't know if he is planning to put that bill in for this session. I have not heard anything about that. And he may have, and I missed it. I'm not sure.
Okay. So, I mean, in your personal opinion, I know that a lot of people maybe don't even necessarily support the vaping industry, but usually when taxes are introduced, they're really there to generate revenue. I know that there's some data stating that we're not actually meeting those goals, at least in December. Would you at least believe that if it wasn't having the desired intent to generate revenue, that maybe some change would make sense at some point?
Sure. I am on the Finance Committee, and we do look at bills related to revenue. I'm also on the Appropriations Committee, so we also look at how we're spending the money and how we're going to spend the money. So those are two committees that I have to take very, very seriously. So I have not seen data for what's coming in from this particular tax. It was not the only tax that we passed at that time. It was several taxes. We clearly need money in the state, and my preference would be another kind of tax, just generally, that would bring in more sustainable money. That would be a personal income tax. I think that tax affects people who are working, but everything that I'm hearing is that there's not an appetite for doing that kind of a tax. So unless we can replace revenues or bring in new revenues, we're going to continue to have fiscal problems in the state. The Independent Fiscal Office has already determined that we're going to continue running structural deficit. We have an annual deficit for this year that is potentially $600 million. And we have people, for instance, on waiting lists for family members with intellectual disabilities who are on a waiting list and have been on a waiting list for a long time. We can't do it because we don't have the revenue. Even though we passed the bills to be able to do that, there was an issue that I don't remember each of the facts about it, but that people are like, this is a huge issue. We have huge issues in the state as far as funding. And quite honestly, I would like to see us have some different approaches on taxes.
I think, and I just have one last question.
Sure.
And we had the opportunity actually to meet last year, which we appreciated, and I I could have sworn there was one thing you mentioned which was kind of along those lines where, in my opinion, obviously the state needs money. The state is $1 billion in debt. I know that there's a projected budget for what the vapor tax might bring in. It seems to me, rather than target specific industries for needs that are very public, would you support maybe an increase in sales tax so that everyone can share the load to an equal extent? Wouldn't that make more sense, do you think? Or is there any practicality to doing something like that? Or would that just be too difficult in your opinion?
I think that part of the problem with the sales tax is it's a regressive tax. So people who make less money pay more of it, and it takes more of what they are earning. And I think that's a problem with the sales tax. This is the personal income tax is a more progressive tax because although it is a flat tax, unfortunately that's how that has to be according to our Constitution. But so I am open to the idea of taxes, but we have to have revenue.
Of course, yeah. It would just be interesting if there's anything that people who are concerned in the vape industry could do to support a more equal, fair taxation that maybe doesn't target their specific industry. Is there anything someone in our position could do to that end, in your opinion?
That is a really good question, and since you live in my district, I would like to be able to have another conversation with you about that, because right off the top of my head, I would say, if there was a personal income tax that was proposed, let legislators know that that's something you would support. But I think that might be a very interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're all about working together, and I know that there's concerns on both sides, but I really appreciate your time and consideration, and it's very nice to see you again.
It was nice to see you again, Ken. Thanks.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.